just a really terrible employee. Like every job I've ever had, I start off really, really well. You know, I'm like, I kick ass, I'm really smart, I work really hard. But every single time I come up against the same issue, which is like, there are barriers in the way of me doing my best work. Like, I want to do more work. I want to have better ideas and like be able to, you know, drive the company in a certain direction. And like, that's not usually what they want from employees. It ends up being the same frustration over and over again, where I feel like I could be doing more. And so that I kind of just moved into doing my own thing from there. But it's also just a lifestyle choice, honestly. Like, with this is my third startup, and I learned a lot from the first two, you know, like entrepreneurs, and particularly in the sort of VC realm, you know, you're expected to work like 24 hours a day, and like, you know, you have this ideal of like, oh, I don't sleep, my business is everything, and like that to me seems like bullshit, frankly. And so I this time around did it the other way around, where I was like, okay, what do I want my day to look like? Like, what do I want my lifestyle to be like? How do I want to spend my day every day? What am I good at? What are my, you know, what are my resources? And I designed a business around that, so that like, you know, I can go to the gym when I want. I can have the schedule that I want, so that the business supports my lifestyle instead of the other way around.
I think also if it's not coming from a place of authenticity, it's harder to maintain the energy and the drive to keep whatever that is going. And sometimes you'll pay the price. I mean, I sort of, when I was on the radio and the show I do with Kevin Smith, I was largely known as the drunk, cranky guy, which is a huge part of my personality, don't get me wrong, and I wish the bar was open right now. But with this new thing, the Ralph Report that I'm doing, this podcast, I tend to include a lot of my stuff with my family, my wife and my kid, and it's a lot more about me being a father and stuff. And I'm getting a lot of pushback from listeners from other projects that I've had, saying, where's the guy who's always doing the rants and complaining about stuff and everything? And he's still there, but this is a different side of me that I'm able to show because I'm working from home now and I'm incorporating my family and I'm doing different kinds of things with this podcast than I was doing on the radio or with the Smith thing. And some people are not into it, and I get that, and they're going to go by the wayside. But other people are going to maybe say, I like this other aspect of you, I'm on board. Either way, it's me, so I can maintain it. That's what I want to do right now with this thing, and so that's, for me, worthwhile. If I was just reinventing myself, if I was putting on a wholesome image to try to garner more listenership or something, I don't think I could stay with that, because it would be exhausting to be somebody I wasn't.
I had this conversation actually with my niece. My oldest niece is, I think she's 21 now, but a year ago or so, she asked me this very similar question. And she's super smart, really hardworking, has a great heart, she's beautiful, she has the whole world in front of her, and was experiencing some stress about what do you do with your college debt and whatever. And she said, you've done a bunch of cool things, and how should I live? And I thought so here's what I told her. I told her that there's like two camps of people to give that give advice to 19-year-olds. One is you should figure it out, make a plan, and have really great goals and pursue them with rigor, and then that's a pretty good set of advice. And then there's a bunch of people who say go with the flow, try some things out, sample all that life has to offer, and things will come to you. And I think it's that. So what I told her was that is to find that balance between scripting your life and improvising your life. And I think so that the solution for me is like script, have a focus, like set a goal of what feels right, pick something out of the air that feels like something you want to do, and pursue that, have that focus the same way that this first camp would want you to do, but then have the openness of the latter camp and how you'll get there, and be open to changing that area of focus. So in giving her that advice, I said, oh shit, that's what's been missing from me. Like I've just been like jumping around, and my general path to success is to look at the array of options in front of me that interest me, and then pick the safest one and do that one. That's generally what I do, and it's worked out okay. But it been focused really on an end game. So like it took talking to this 19-year-old to feel that way about my own stuff. But that would be, set a goal, but don't script how you're going to get there, and improvise your way to happiness.
So advice is always what you should be telling yourself. It's like, that's pretty much like a known thing. But anyways, go ahead, Lisa.
I would definitely tell my younger self a quote I just read, which is, does worrying help? Or would worrying about this more help? And I definitely worried and overthought everything, and that would have made a difference for me because I was willing to do all the things it took to get here today, but I spent so much time making myself crazy about it. You know, I went to college and then I went to graduate school and it wasn't right and I dropped out, and I didn't want to tell anybody I dropped out, but I was already dropped out. Like nothing worse was going to happen, and it was the best choice for me. And then, you know, my company went bankrupt or I got fired, and I was like, I have to tell people. I'm like, nobody actually cares. Maybe that would be my advice to myself. Nobody cares that much. Just do it. And it was never that I wasn't willing to do it. I didn't want to have to tell. And it's just not that big a deal. So I think that would have made me just feel a lot calmer and a lot prouder that my choices are my choices. Like, I don't know who I thought got to have, like, you know, the Muppets guys were going to come and give me flack about my choices. I don't know. Those two little old guys. Like, who cares? Nobody cares. So just do it. So.
If I could share a second piece of advice, because what's interesting is I'm doing it. You can put it on the negative review.
Clint, you have all the answers. We get it. Oh my God. Jeez.
It's true.
It kind of does.
Can you just isolate Clint with a spot, please?
Saul said I'm the best panelist earlier. So my friend Mike Bonifer says this about the entertainment industry, and that good stories, no one likes the story where the hero is awesome all throughout. Like generally people don't like Superman as much as Batman, because Batman has all these vulnerabilities and Superman's perfect. The only thing interesting about Superman is kryptonite. So it's like, so what's interesting about everyone on the stage, it's like Ralph telling the story of the radio job they thought was going to last forever ending is interesting. Mickey being vulnerable about the sharing company, you know, not working out, and is interesting. You dropping out of graduate school and the insecurities around that is interesting, and it allows all the other things to be something you connect to. So without the failures or whatever, no one actually really cares about anything that you say. So it's like, you actually have to mine. You should be mining all that stuff that happened in your life to exploit and leverage it to make your current thing work well.
Well, that was worth it. I'm just kidding. That was great.